Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's continue to this now. Whilst whistleblowing can be described as one mechanism that can be instrumental in addressing systemic corruption in the continent, it often comes at an immense cost for the whistleblowers. Now, the State Capture Commission's recommendation contained in its report released in 2022 that legislation on whistleblowers be amended to provide increased protection. Former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo said that government should take guidance from the UN Convention against corruption in seeking ways to enhance existing laws in this regard. One South African whistleblower and activist, Cynthia Stimpel, will be walking 700 kilometres along the Cape Camino to raise awareness and funds for whistleblowers who face serious consequences for speaking out. Joining us now to discuss the Walking for Whistleblowers initiative is Whistleblower House founder Cynthia Stimpel herself. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, you've been described as one of South Africa's bravest whistleblowers, blowing the whistle on SAA corruption for one. Just talk to us about this new initiative.
Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the time to speak about this initiative. So I'm currently working for the Whistleblower House, and we support whistleblowers through 4 services. Firstly, it's through providing legal services, counselling services, security, and financial. And it is with that in mind that we are embarking on this journey. One is to raise finance for the whistleblowers, but 2, to raise the awareness. Because when people speak out and stand up for the truth, they're the ones that suffer, lose their jobs, unable to find jobs in the future, and hence their lives are in total disarray. And we as Whistleblower House are trying our best to assist them.
And just about, the walk itself, what will that entail?
Okay, so the first part is that I'm walking over 40 days, hence the 700 kilometers. The 40 days is a symbolism of when one fasts in the various religions, like Lent if you're Christian, or even if you going through Ramadan. It's 40 days for this journey, which allows you to change internally and do self-introspection and reflection. So that's the 40 days. And during those 40 days, each day I will be showcasing a whistleblower story and the plight of the whistleblowers. Each week will be different themes that we're showcasing. So it will be firstly about the first week will be about all the whistleblowers who've been deceased and have been murdered, assassinated. The second will focus on the legal challenges which whistleblowers face, and we're going to invite lawyers to speak as well on this topic. The third week will be about psychology. The next week it would be about the security impact on whistleblowers. And then in our final week, we're going to look at solutions and how we can help whistleblowers. So this journey is over 700 kilometers. And yes, it's about walking the journey of the whistleblower. I will also be carrying my own backpack, symbolizing the burdens which our whistleblowers carry, because no matter how much help you can give them, it can never replace what they've lost.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about the plight of the whistleblower. Just talk us through, the extreme personal sacrifices that are being made here by the country's whistleblowers, the terrible losses some have suffered. You've spoken out about this, about yourself especially, and just the extreme vilification, that is used to discredit those who dare speak truth to power. I mean, notwithstanding, of course, some people have lost their lives.
Exactly. So, for instance, those that have taken their matters to courts, to either CCMA, a labour court, and others to High Court, there is still victimization and retaliation from a court perspective, where lawyers are using, or the companies who's on the opposite side of the whistleblower are using the legal lawfare to retaliate against whistleblowers, and they therefore weaponizing the laws against them, which is so unfair because they use mechanisms of trumped up charges and ignoring the fact that this person has made a protected disclosure or spoke out against fraud, malfeasance, and corruption. The other issue is when whistleblowers speak out in the organization, they are isolated. A toxic environment is created. Their very friends and colleagues will distance themselves from this whistleblower, who then suffers from trauma and has to go and see a psychologist, or even worse, go a step further to see a psychiatrist. So the impact has a knock-on effect, not only on the person, but also on their families. And then the ultimate sacrifice is when they lose their lives. Like we've mentioned, the few, Babita Deokaran, Mospako, and many others, which I will mention each day and give some write-up about them.
I mean, just looking and probably zoning in to your initiative that was probably as a result of the work that you do at Whistleblower House. Just, just speak to us about just the struggles in the sense that, there is legislation that is meant to protect whistleblowers. And, there has always been calls that be amended, for the sake of protecting whistleblowers. You have supported at least 160 whistleblowers over the past year. How much support are you getting?
Unati, thank you for that question. So we've added our comments to the Department of Justice discussion document, which they put out a year ago. And to date, we have not yet seen any changes or updates in the legislation. But we're not the only ones that have recommended changes. I think many civil societies, together with certain law societies, have also added their points to make this change. What we're seeing is that organizations are not willing to enforce the law, and that makes it difficult. Some are hiding either because their own complicity in certain decisions made, being either at the executive level or board level, and therefore it is easier to get rid of the whistleblower. Many are not looking at solutions of how can we work together with the law and at the same time allow for the reputation of the organization to build itself and to clean up whatever shenanigans is happening within the organization. So it is rather difficult, and we're hoping that with the new Department of Justice Minister that they will effect changes sooner. Civil society will add their voices in the next couple of months anyway, leading up to December and Anti-Corruption Week then, is to speak about these issues and to start pushing that legislation should be changed and enforced.
Well, good luck to you, Cynthia, and of course, congratulations once again for the work that you do. Whistleblower liaison manager there for Whistleblower House, Cynthia Stimpel. Of course, you will be walking 700 kilometres along the Cape Camino to raise awareness and funds to help whistleblowers. If you can, please do reach out to her.